Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. I want to welcome you to our LoveBiz training and development workshop. It's great having you here on Catch Up, but obviously, if you're not joining us live, great to have you here on Catch Up. But in the room today, we've got some fabulous women in business. I have the absolute pleasure, as one of the LoveBiz hosts, to introduce Claire Knight. Whose business is Night and Day Social Media Management. I've got a little bit of a bio here that I'd like to read out. So Night and Day Social Media Management specialises in tailor-made solutions to help individuals and businesses increase their sales, profile and reputation through power of social media. So whether you're looking to raise brand awareness, planning a product launch, or would like to increase your online sales either organically or with ads, Claire has the expertise to help you. They can provide support across leading platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and Instagram, what we're going to have a conversation, a presentation on today. So they can tailor a package that will suit your business needs, whether that's setting up a new account, auditing your existing platforms, creating a strategic plan, creating engaging content, or guiding you and your team through the process with one-to-one training and coaching with workshops. So as I say, Claire, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce you today. So Claire, welcome, and I'm going to hand over to you. So welcome to our training and development workshop.
Thank you, and it's lovely to see everybody. I shall just share my screen here, and then we'll get a wriggle on. There we go. So can everybody see my screen?
All good, all good.
Perfect, lovely. Right, so I'll start my clock so I don't run over. Okay, so today, welcome to Instagram for Business. So how to maximize Instagram for business, but obviously this is, 40 minutes, so we can't go into too much depth in 40 minutes, but I will try my best. So why, what we're going to go through today is why Instagram, what can it do, the anatomy of an engaging post, and planning and scheduling. Okay, so they're in my mind, they're the key areas for maximizing it for business. So just a little bit about me, as Jacque has already said. So I've got 20+ years experience. I know I don't look it, but in marketing. I'm a chartered marketing, have been for about 7 years. I'm the founder of Night and Day Social Media Management, and that's been over 5 years now, and a passion for helping businesses to market themselves and harness the power of organic and paid social media marketing. Okay, so let's just move everybody's pictures. I'm going to be moving people's pictures over each way. So why Instagram? Okay, so Instagram is quickly evolving. It's the social media platform. The features are changing and moving and sometimes disappearing at quite a crazy rate. So here's just a few stats from Hootsuite in a blog that they did last month, just to prove that Instagram really is the place to be for businesses. So Instagram is the 8th most visited website in the world, with a 4.25 billion total visits per month. So that's mostly on the app, but also on desktops and laptops too. So Instagram is the 9th most Googled search term. So Facebook, YouTube and the weather all beat Instagram on this. But considering that Instagram is primarily accessed through the app, it's quite an impressive number, and more proof that your audience might be viewing your content through a browser. It's the 4th most used social platform, only after Facebook, YouTube and WhatsApp. So this is which in terms of the daily global active users, so it clocks in an impressive 1.386 billion people. Now that's a lot of people. For now, it's beaten TikTok, Twitter, Pinterest and Snapchat, but I think 2023 is going to be a big change, and TikTok is gaining gaining ground really quite fast. So Instagram also has 2 billion active monthly users. Now, I know I said that just a minute ago that 1.386 billion people use Instagram daily, but more than 2 billion now use the platform for monthly, according to the latest Meta findings. So that's an incredible amount of people on Instagram. Oops. Here we go. So what can it actually do? So there are many features to Instagram. So as well as the image and editing, video editing features, we've also got the posts. So this is what the bulk of Instagram is content. So this is traditionally your post, or the square post, square photo, your video post that appears in your followers' feeds. You can have up to 2,200 characters long, but the ideal Instagram post is actually between 138 and 150 characters. And you can add up to 30 hashtags. And yes, use those 30 hashtags where you can. So they've got to be relevant and appropriate, but more on that in a minute. Okay, so Instagram posts, these are evergreen, so they last in your feed. They will appear in your profile forever unless you delete them. So they tend to get more views over a long period of time rather than a shorter period of time. So make sure that your posts reflect your brand image, your values, reflect the level and quality that you want your followers to expect from you. Okay, so next we have stories. 500 million people use Instagram stories every day. That's crazy, isn't it? So every Instagram user can do a story, whether you're in a business or a private Instagram account. And then the stories appear right underneath the Instagram logo. So they'll kind of form in a what they call a slideshow. So if you do more than one, they last for 24 hours, and you can see them as a slideshow. Okay, so you can play around with the stories functions, and there's some really good features in there. You don't have to stay on brand because they only last for 24 hours. It's not going to ruin your Instagram style because they're not there all the time. However, you can save them. So you can save them into highlights, and then you can categorize your highlights. So whether that's talking about your products, your services, whether it's if one of your clients or customers has tagged you in a story, then you can save that into one of your highlights. And any press pieces. So if your company has been picked up by the press, and those highlights you can see on your Instagram account, and that's seen by other people as well. So that's why it's really good to categorize it. So if somebody is viewing your profile and they kind of go, oh, what do customers like about you? What products and services do you do? And what have the press picked up as well? It's really handy just to have those there. Okay, so Reels. Now these are kind of short form Instagram videos. They can be up to 90 seconds long. Again, they're really quite fun to put together. So you can record, film, you can edit, you can clip the videos, you can add videos and photos together, you can set music to them, and you can post them to your feed. Okay, so it's been a really good way. Reels have been a really good way for brands and creators to kind of flex their creativity and extend their reach further. And when you've done a reel and stories and posts, you'll be really surprised at how further the reach is for reels than it is for the other two. So I think Instagram is really pushing reels at the moment. So now we have live videos. So this is streaming in real time. So whether you're going to interview somebody, or whether you have hopped on to announce something, it's a really good way to communicate to your followers directly, and they can engage with you. So comments, reactions, you can see the comments and reactions. As somebody comes on to see your live, you can say, oh, hi Jacque, it's good to see you, and they can comment, and you can answer questions that might come up. So it's so in your profile photo, so in the story section, if there's a light ring, so that notifies your followers that you're actually on a live, so they can just hop on and see you, which is brilliant. You can actually save your live videos to replay in your Instagram stories, which is really good. And then obviously then you can save your stories into a highlight. So you can pin comments to the top of your video. You can invite people who are watching your live to stream together with you. So maybe if you're doing something together, and you can also view the engagement figures after the broadcast. So next up we have geotagging. So this allows somebody to actually tag the location of where they are. So whether you are in Gloucester, or you're in Sheffield, or you can actually when you tag where you are, then when somebody clicks on that tag, then they will see all of the other posts that have mentioned this tag, which is, it's kind of like a library then. So if I've tagged Gloucester in something, then they can click on that, and then anything that has been mentioned, sorry, runny nose now, oh sorry, so they'll be able to see anything and everything that's been tagged with Gloucester, for example. So you can tag locations for posts, stories, hashtags, location stickers to stories, which is brilliant, because that gives your posts and your stories and anything that you're tagging actually greater reach. So next up we have Instagram ads. So did you know that 47% of users actually search for more information to make a purchase online or offline, but actually having an ad, it increases the effectiveness of your brands, of your business. It's really good to help you expand your brand presence, to generate new leads, increase website traffic, and drive sales, very much like Facebook ads. You can search geographically. You can kind of target your audience based on the age, gender, languages, just trying to think of the others, or interests, behaviors. So it's a really good way of kind of drilling down and getting your messages directly to the people that you're looking to target. So Instagram analytics, this is quite a bugbear for social media managers, because they're changing all the time, and they're in a different place all the different times. So it is hard sometimes to kind of locate them, but once you do, they are really good for helping you to target the right people. They can see which of your content is doing better than others. You can it's optimizing your performance on Instagram. Okay, so it tells people that who tells you who they are that's looking at them, what they like, what type of content can trigger more likes, more engagement. You can see data like interactions, engagement, profile visits, website clicks, emails, the reach, the impressions. And for what I do with clients is I do a monthly report, so you can actually see how they're improving month on month, which is really good to see. Now, if you're doing this as a business and you're only looking at your own, I mean, that's still good to just kind of see the basic analytics, but you can get a really good feeling of how your content is going just by looking at the likes and the comments, and how many people are sharing it to their stories, etc. So it's not a be all and end all if you don't want to look into your analytics, but it's actually really good. I'm quite a statistics person, so I love looking at analytics. So next up we have shoppable tags. So this is also like Instagram shopping. So it's a great feature, and it allows somebody to actually purchase an item without going off Instagram. So you'll need a Shopify account. Then you can tag items in your Instagram posts or stories, and potential customers can then click on those tags and they'll be taken to your product page, maybe on your company website or on your Shopify account. And it actually shortens the customer's journey. So if they might be hesitant about buying something, well, actually they're straight in there and they can buy it straight away. So you don't have to take them off to another screen, or they have to find, they have to go to your bio to click on the link, to then go to your website and then find your shoppable page. And it's a really quick way. Now, notes. This is a new thing that has literally come up very, very recently, within the last week. It's a short text-based caption. So you can have up to 60 characters. They last 24 hours, and they can see, only people that follow you can see them. Okay, so this you can see them via if you go into messages, and you can see them. So when you go down your messages, you'll be able to see the icon on there for notes. If you can't see it, then it's probably that you haven't got it yet. It is being rolled out, so don't worry if you haven't got it yet. So yeah, notes are only visible to your current followers. You can create something that kind of speaks directly to your audience. So I mean, the downside is that the characters are very tiny, so you can't really say a lot. However, you can really start to use something strategically, maybe start a conversation, use it as a call to action, or maybe promote something, your latest offer or a lead magnet. If you have it, have a play with it and have some fun with it. That's the same with all of these features. Just have fun with it. It's but keep it simple. That's the best thing. Try not to overcomplicate anything. So next up, we have, just checking the time, the anatomy of an engaging post. Now, this is really important to get a post right. So many people miss maybe one or two of these things. So the best thing to do is, and obviously what Instagram is most famous for, is the image, and a really good quality image. Okay, so it needs to be good quality and it needs to be relevant. Okay, it needs to be also a natural image, not a filtered one or a photoshopped one. They stand out like a sore thumb, and people tend to run a mile, because people just want to have something that is true, and they want to be able to trust you by not filtering anything. Okay, so next up is a great eye-catching headline. So this hooks the reader in, but don't use clickbait. So whatever you use as your heading, talk about it in your text. Okay, because if you have a really good eye-catching headline, but then don't talk about it in the text, people are like, oh, well, that's not what I was expecting. Or and then they won't trust you to want to read any future posts from you. So always make sure that you're not turning the reader off. So a really good eye-catching content headline. So content is key. So this is the bulk of the text in your post. So try to maybe encourage an emotional response from somebody, because what you're looking to do is to encourage people for reactions, for comments. So you're trying to draw the person that's reading it in, so have their personal reaction. That is the best indicator as to whether your content is actually on the right line. Try to be helpful, maybe address a pain point, maybe something that somebody's facing. So share your knowledge, share ideas that are relevant and helpful to addressing those pain points. So for example, content creation overwhelm. Everybody feels it, but hopefully this presentation today will help you overcome content overwhelm. Okay, maybe asked to initiate some change, so give people some information that maybe they can take action on. For example, to help them to create content to be more proactive rather than reactive. Now, call to action. This is very, very important to put in. I can't stress that enough. So every post needs a call to action. Without one, how does your reader know what you want them to do? What's expected of them? So whether it's a download, whether it's go to the bio and you'll get the lead magnet, top tips for content creation, etc. So it can be as simple as asking a question as well. So because you're trying to encourage the comments and the reactions. Now we've got hashtags. So as I mentioned earlier, posts, you can have 30 hashtags. So if you think about search engine optimization and your relevant words, your keywords that you want this post to be known for, that you want it to be picked up for. So you talk about the topic that you're posting about. You talk about what you do, maybe. So whether that's social media management, whether that's making cakes, corporate cakes, that type of thing. So 30 hashtags for a post. We've got 10 for a story, and you can use up to 30 for reels, which is brilliant. But which hashtags should you use? So if you look at how many people are following each of the hashtags, so I personally would go for between 10,000 followers and up to about 900,000, because you don't want your post being lost in a million of other posts, but at the same time you don't want your post not being seen by that many people at all. Okay. So how do you find the hashtags? Knowing that you've got 30 to play with, and to think about which 30 for every single post is quite daunting. There's some really good apps out there, one of which is hashtag stack. I'll add that into the chat in a bit. And you can just put a keyword in, and then it'll bring up all of the different hashtags that are possible within, for that word, and how many followers there are next to it. So you can choose then which ones, are the most popular, and which ones actually are within the 10,000 and the 900,000. So, as with all social media platforms, be supportive. So once you press post or publish, it doesn't end there. So you need to complete the process. You need to engage. You need to like, reply, encourage more engagements, encourage more comments. Then this increases your reach of your post, and then encourages more people to be able to interact with you. Okay, good for time. So planning and scheduling. So who knows what the top one stands for? Is it the 5 Ps? It's something that I've always wanted, kind of always made sure that I do, is perfect planning prevents pathetic performance. Okay, so whether you use a spreadsheet, a list, a planner, a checklist, there are apps out there that you can help to plan your content. So Trello, find something that works for you and have fun with it. So planning is key. I definitely think that. So it helps you to be more proactive than reactive to situations. So when you go onto Instagram in the morning, you go, oh, it's such and such awareness day. I think yesterday it was the day to throw a sticky day. Not that anybody is able to do that in their businesses, but if that was relevant to your business, and and that was the first time you heard about it, your post will then be very reactive and not proactive. Okay, so there's some really good awareness day calendars out there that are online, and they're free, and make sure that you're using the one for the UK, because a lot of them are either US based or other countries. I think it's still okay to use ones from other countries if that's where your following is, but when we're looking at awareness days, just make sure that they are relevant to your brand and not just, oh, it's bring a dog to work today, but I don't have a dog, but I'm going to talk about somebody else's dog. That's not really relevant to me or my brand. Okay. So as well, with planning, so when you're planning, it helps you to map out what you're going to talk about. So whether you're going to talk about a specific topic for a month, and then you can kind of go, well, okay, so that specific topic, I can do this, this, and this post, and then you can just plot it in. And I'm not saying actually plan out all of your content. I'm just saying plan the topics. So it helps you to show up consistently. So whether that's once a week, twice a week, three times a week, it's whatever works best for you and whatever you've got the time for. Because if you try to do too much, this is where the overwhelm will come in. Okay, so scheduling your content. So scheduling your content actually means that you can get an overview of what you've got planned and what's slotted in where, but also where you might have some gaps. You could also tweak your planner. So if something crops up and you go, oh, I really want to post that today, but I've got this post, but that's quite a general post, so I can move that, and you can actually move posts from one day to another, which is brilliant. Now with Instagram, if you've got the content creator or you're a business owner, so you've got a business account, you can use their direct one, so that's Meta. And if you have Instagram and Facebook in there, then you can actually create one post and then tailor. Once you've created the main post, you can tailor it to be specific for Facebook and specific for Instagram. And that especially works for any tags, you're tagging companies in your and any hashtags, because hashtags are slightly different depending on the platform. So you can use third-party scheduling tools. So we're thinking of Later, Planoly, Hootsuite, Agorapulse, etc. To schedule these posts. Which if you're going to be scheduling other platforms as well, like LinkedIn, Twitter, and those, and you want it all in one place, then that's great, and those those tools are really good for that. However, if you want a free version, then Meta is brilliant, and the other tools that I mentioned, they tend to be, well, actually you have to start paying if you want to do more than 4 posts a month, which most businesses do want to do more than 4 posts a month. But again, find the one that works best for you and the one that you feel confident using, and that I think I've got through loads of ones. I had the little trials to make sure that I knew which one I was going to use for myself or my clients, and a lot of them were either too busy on the dashboard, or it was just confusing, or it wasn't very user friendly. So yes, find the one that works best for you. So the pros of scheduling is that it can save you a whole lot of time scheduling. So put an hour or 2 hours a week aside, and then you've scheduled for the week. Or if you're doing just 1 post a month, then maybe a couple of hours a month. That'll save you time. So you've got more time to actually run your business. It helps you look consistent, and makes you encourages you to be more on brand, because you know what's coming and what's going to be created. You've got time to think about your plan and about your content, and once you've scheduled, you can move them around. The cons of scheduling: yes, it can be quite time consuming. You do need to set out a chunk of time to do it, whether that's per week, per month. And if you prefer to create something a bit more personable, or off the cuff, then scheduling probably wouldn't be for you. Although I do a bit of both, so I schedule and I do. So two schedule posts a week, and then I know I've got days that I can go, oh, this happened, so I can just, as I'm there, I can just take a picture and pop it on. So social media isn't just about looking popular. It's about making meaningful connections. to your current and future customers. So engaging with your audience on your posts and within the community as a whole, and on other people's posts is a must to actually build your trust and build your brand awareness. Okay, so you can't just post on your own platform and do nothing else, is what I'm trying to say. So try and find the people that you want to engage with, that you want to interact with, and interact with them back, because you will be on their radar and they will want to find out more about you. Okay, now that went really quickly. Now that is a whistle-stop tour of how you can maximize Instagram, all the features that it has. So that's the end of the presentation aspect. So if you'd like to know more, or you'd like to work with me, then I do power hours, coaching, mentoring, training, and workshops. And our next workshop is on the 30th of March. And I can put the details in the chat if that's what you like. So that's the end. Thank you.
Claire, that's amazing. I've actually got some questions in the chat box here. So let's come
I'll stop sharing so then we can see.
Yeah, that'd be great, please. Thank you. Okay, so our first question is from Colette. She says, whenever I post on my personal Facebook page, it posts it on my business page and Instagram, which I don't want it to. How do I stop this?
Okay, so if you're posting from your phone, it could be that you're just logged into the wrong account. And then once you've so when you go into your Instagram account on your phone, just make sure that the icons are different, so the images for your profile are completely different, so you know exactly which account you're in, and then you shouldn't be it shouldn't then go into one and then all of a sudden appear into another. Hope that helps.
I find that because I do a lot of my work from my desktop and not particularly my phone, so whenever I do some posts on my personal Facebook, or even if it's by my phone, it just automatically, then I'll look on like my Instagram dog page and like my personal posts have appeared on there.
Okay, it looks like your links. Looks like that when you're posting on Facebook, you can link your Facebook posts to your Instagram account. So you might just need to either when you go into the settings, there's a little kind of just turn it off.
Okay, I'll have a look. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, so the next question is from Faye, and I think this is one of the questions I'd got down. Shopify tagging doesn't work until you have an established business Instagram account. Do you know how many followers you need to achieve this, or how long the account needs to be established for?
I don't, but I'll find out for you.
There we go, Faye. You stumped Claire. That's lovely. So you'll find that out, and
I will do, yes, absolutely.
Lovely. Okay, my next question. I keep seeing link in bio, this is from Stella, on Instagram posts, but then can never find them. What exactly does link in bio mean, and where is the link?
Okay, so in an Instagram post, you can't put a link actually in the post or in the comments. So what people do is they're allowed to have one link in their bio. So you go to their actual the account page where it says, who the business is and what they do. And a lot of people just put a link to their website. So it's just one link to wherever. However, a lot of people then kind of go, oh, well, I'm going to do a post about look at my latest blog, and then I'm going to change the link in my bio to that blog. However, if then somebody then looks back maybe to a post that you did a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and it says look at the link in my bio, I've got all the details in there of my latest product, that link is not going to work anymore, because you've now set it for your latest blog. So one way around that is to have something like a link tree link in your bio that has, you click on it and there's loads of different options, like how to work with me, latest blog, latest products, that type of thing. And that's a really good way of not having to keep going in there and just changing your link in your bio all the time.
Perfect, thank you. So next question, would you suggest using all 30 hashtags for every post? Or is there less value in having, or is there value in having less?
The value is using the right hashtags. So whether that is 8 or 30, if you've got enough hashtags to get you to 30 and that are relevant to what you're talking about, then use them. If you don't use them for just using them sake, because then that would just mean that, you know, you're not going to the right audience. And I've got a Word document for each of my clients that has the basic hashtags that I use for each of their posts, and then I use different ones for the topic of the post. So I always kind of mix and match, or mix them up, just so then they're not the same hashtags on every single post, because Instagram can pick that up and then won't push them out that much. But they could be pushing out really. Hope that helps.
Fantastic, thank you. Someone has asked us if you can run over the shopping tag again, but I'm just going to come to another few more questions before we do that. Does Instagram work for corporate services? Janet Bridgewater's asking.
So Janet, what sort of corporate services are you talking about?
I'm really sorry, my camera won't work, and it's not
That's
because
okay.
I don't want to be seen. So I do very niche corporate purchasing diagnostics, and I do it with Jacque and Andrew and Rolls-Royce, big companies and little. But so it's a service of going in, looking at the people, training them, then looking at the processes. So it's really, really niche. In fact, I'm by Chamber of Commerce this morning, I'm the only member who does it, which is really strange. So I always see Instagram as very generalised and overall, the same as I do TikTok, which I shouldn't do. So I never use it. Is it worthwhile considering it?
I think because Instagram is very visual, have a think, have a real deep think about the people you're trying to attract. Are they realistically going to be on Instagram? Are they going to be on something else instead, i.e. LinkedIn, which is probably more likely for that type of person that you're trying to attract. But if you're, the thing with social media is, don't try to be on every single platform. Really decide, right, where is your target audience going to be, and then concentrate on those platforms.
It's only ever worked from LinkedIn, one platform. Although I'm on Facebook for my mentoring side, but the Instagram, I've never used it. Probably the right decision then. But it sounds really good. When I do my business book launch, that would be a good thing to do. But thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you for that question, Janet. I think this is a common one. Is there a better time to post? I used to do early, late, but don't find it makes much difference. What are your thoughts, Claire, about when is the best time to post on Instagram? Or any social media?
There's a lot of blogs out there about this. There's a lot of people saying, oh, this is the magic time and that's the magic time. Actually, no, there's no magic time. It's whatever is right for your audience. So you get to, the more you post, so have a play with times and days, and you will get to know when the best time is for your post. It's like the same as if you do a newsletter, a new newsletter, and you send it out. You know, you play around with the days and the times of the day that, you know, that gets the most opening rates, that gets the most so that's the same with you know, with social media posts, and that's any platform, any at all, unless you're doing Twitter chats, you know, and then that's obviously a specific time. But don't schedule those because you need to be there at the time doing them.
That was Claire Gallagher. That was your question there. Has that answered it? Yeah, perfect. And there's just one more I've got here from Claire McKay. Does scheduling reduce the reach unless it's in Meta?
I've done both, and I've not seen a huge difference between whether using Meta scheduling or other scheduling for Instagram, for any of the platforms, to be honest. But what I do feel, and I know we're not talking about LinkedIn today, but for LinkedIn specifically, if you schedule for LinkedIn, you really do need to be on that platform at that time, or within that's called the golden hour, to kind of to comment on things, to react to what people have said or done. So then LinkedIn will actually push your post out further, to a further reach. Instagram isn't so much, you don't have to be there at the time. I wouldn't say that there's a main difference at all. I just use Meta because it's free, and because I can do Instagram and Facebook, and the majority of my clients are either LinkedIn and Facebook, or Facebook and Instagram. So LinkedIn you can now actually schedule directly on that platform, and the same with Twitter. So I don't mind going to each 3 of those platforms now, just to pick up all the analytics and pop it into a spreadsheet to give to clients at the end of the month, because that's easier. They don't need, and it's cheaper for them, so I don't have to put that extra cost onto the client. And as business owners, you don't want to have any extra costs that you don't necessarily need. Absolutely. So freebie scheduling tools are amazing. We all did a very happy dance, all our social media managers, when LinkedIn finally got the in-house scheduling. So yeah, very happy about that.
Thank you. Does Instagram still remove the returns on posts prepared in schedulers or documents? That is from Julia.
Julia, can you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, of course. It's when you post, so if I prepare something in Planoly or another scheduler, if you don't put those little characters which are supposed to be invisible, then it makes it used to make everything one paragraph. So
okay,
got the returns and the white space and the post. Is it still doing that?
No, no. So it used to be that you'd have to put like a dot as a paragraph break, or which made things look horrendous. Was not pleasing to the eye at all. Now, no, everything is fine now. You can put a return in there, and it looks completely fine on whatever scheduling tool you have. However, some people haven't got that memo and still put a dot in there. So you can tell whether somebody has kept an eye on the ball, or they're just continued to schedule without really knowing what the updates are. But thankfully it looks much nicer, the feed. So yeah,
that's good.
Perfect. So I think that's all of our questions that we've got down here.
Well, Jacque, there's just a few more. Sorry, I probably had a chance to look actually while you're reading them, but there are just a few more. Shall I read them out?
Okay, you can do. Yeah.
How do people see your content if you have no followers?
So if you have started a brand new Instagram account, you've got no followers, the best thing to do, come to networking meetings, connect with people on their Instagram business accounts, so then they will follow you back. And this is where hashtags come in. So people are following hashtags, so then they'll start following your posts and your profile if they find it of interest. And organically, it is a slow burner, but then you are getting the right people. Never pay for followers. Oh my goodness, never pay for followers. I can't stress that enough, because they are the wrong followers, and then your analytics will just go haywire, and will be, it's not worth it.
Perfect.
Another one from Sue Tonks. What's Trello?
What's Trello? So Trello is it's kind of like a project management, when you're working with somebody. So I'm working with with other people that offer maybe website services. So if I want my website doing, we set up a Trello board, and then I just brain dump all my ideas into this Trello board, and you can categorize them into, this is the look and feel, this is this. Or if you're doing it for social media, you can have a board for or a list, a column for Facebook, a column for LinkedIn, a column for, you know, whether it's awareness days, and you just brain dump, you save things into there. And it's a really good way of actually figuring out all your ideas. And then when you come to actually schedule and create your content, you can go, right, what was I thinking about? It's, I mean, I still like to use a notepad and pen, but obviously when you're out and about, you might not have a notebook or a pen. So I use Trello boards to kind of plot down, oh, next week is such and such day, or for clients, if I'm on a client call, for example, and they say, right, this and this is next week, can you create this, or this and this is happening next month. So I add it into our Trello board. I give them access to the Trello board so they can add bits in as well. So it's a really good way of kind of having a better understanding of the planning process.
Is Trello free, Claire? Is that
yes, I think up to a certain point you can. There are paid for, so I think if you start using it for Teams, for example, then that's, you know, that's a paid for. But for what I use it for, I don't pay it.
perfect? And there's just one more here. What's the, I don't know if I've actually answered this. What's the in-house scheduling tool for LinkedIn called?
Oh, it's not like Meta or anything. It's literally, you go to post, and then where it says actually send post, there's a bit next to it. There's a little button next to it to say schedule, and then that's where you schedule. So
fantastic. I think that's all of the questions. Looking at it here, other than sort of going back again over.
Sue's got one. She's got a hand up.
Oh, go on, Sue.
Oh, you're on mute.
Unmute.
Where do you get this list of events in the UK calendar? Where do you get that?
Oh, so that's awareness days, and I will ping
Wednesdays.
Awareness days.
Oh, awareness days.
So I have, yeah, awareness days. Let me just see if I have got. Do I have it open? That's a. I was using it yesterday for my clients. Let me just do that. And there should be these days.
Is it just awarenessdays.com?
Yep, awarenessdays.com. Then it should be /UK. You can look at the months ahead. You can look at the whole year ahead if you want to. But on the awarenessdays.com, it will have everything on there, you know, UK, US, New Zealand, everything. And then when you kind of filter it to the UK, that's the best one, because then you don't have to filter it as you're going through the that's
so yeah,
it.
Claire,
Thank you,
Claire. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
I think there's been a lot of information there that I think some of us didn't know beforehand, but I just want to say, Claire, thank you so much again. It's been a privilege to have you here on our workshop, and yeah, thank you everybody. I'm actually going to stop the recording now, so yes, thank you all so much for being on here, and enjoy the replay when people watch it.
Thank you.